Hi, and welcome to this 3D flow. 3D, or three planes of motion, is what we'll be focusing in on today. So I'll take you through a series of small or short flows that will connect all together. So it is one fluid practice, but the idea is within the short little flows, the movement pattern gets you really connected to your body and out of your mind. And with that repetition, you can feel the breath, listen to your body, and move at your pace. Eventually, we'll come up to standing and then back down towards the mat and into a Shavasana. You'll need 2 blocks and a blanket, and we'll get started sitting in a comfortable position. Starting in a comfortable seated position. Close the windows of your eyes. Slightly adjust your posture. Notice that your carriage of your head is right over your shoulders, chin slightly dropping. Give the shoulders a little lift, roll, and drop. Notice the base of your rib cage is right over the rim of your pelvis. And elongate your spine 1 more millimeter. Connect to creating a little more space between each and every vertebrae in your spine. Notice how busy, how active the mind is. Consciously leaving behind all the things you can't change or control during this time. And shift your awareness to your breath. Visualize your lungs receiving and emptying. Feel the rise and fall of your upper chest. Notice if there is any other intention in the present moment you'd like to layer into your practice. And then bringing your arms by your side, take a nice deep inhale, reach all the way up, connect the palms, look up, and exhale, empty the lungs, press the hands down through Anjali Mudra, the gesture of union. Coming up onto your knees in tabletop. We'll take a set of shoulder circles. So let's start with the right arm first, forward and up. And then we'll reverse the flow. So sweep forward and then back and up. And left side, reach forward and up and all the way to the back. Then sweep the arm forward and reverse the flow. From here, we'll bring the right leg forward. And you'll come up and bring the hands to your hips. So from here, we're going to incorporate a low lunge and a high lunge or crescent lunge with flexion and extension in the spine. So there's some modifications. I'll demonstrate both. So the first one, would be to, as you draw the knee forward of the ankle, extend the spine and look up. And then bring or translate the pelvis back in space, round or flex the spine. So you're translating the pelvis forward and back, and as you're doing that, you're flexing and extending the spine. So you might even want to just start with a few sets just like that. So maybe stay with this option, or you'll curl the back toes under, lift up, crescent lunge. Keep the hands on the hips or reach the arms up, extend the spine, and then lower back down, translate the pelvis back, maybe even into a runner's stretch. Flex our round. So you're going to complete or do this movement pattern at your pace in one of those variations that work best for you. Try not to think too much. Embody your body and experience your body, your mind, and your energy all connected to the present moment through this movement. Flow at your pace. Notice how you're feeling today on any level and adjust. Let's do a couple more. And then once you complete the set that you're on, come back into low lunge. And then bring your right leg out to the side. So now we'll work through a frontal plane flow. Reach the left arm up and over. Come back to center, hand to hip. Reach right arm up and over. And again, just flow through this at your pace. A happy range. Notice that you're noticing where your drishti or your gaze lands. Complete the set that you're on. And then come back to center. Okay, let's bring the right leg forward again and frame your blocks with your left foot. So you can do this next rotation mini flow with the back knee down, or you can lift up into a lunge. So strong legs, try not to sink into your shoulders, press up out of the shoulders. And then rotate to the right and derotate. Rotate to the left and derotate. So again, continuing this movement pattern of rotation from left to right at your pace. Whether your back knee is lifted or lowered. Notice drishti. Complete the set that you're on. Lower the back knee if it's lifted, and let's take a child's pose before doing that sequence on the other side. Soften any tension in your hips, your lower back, your jaw. Anywhere else that you typically hold on to tension or you feel it is today. And coming out from child's pose, let's do that 3-dimensional lunge sequence on the other side. So left leg forward. Hands to your hips. And let's just start with extending the spine, translating the pelvis forward, translating it back, flexing or rounding. So you might start with this variation and stick with it, or you might turn it into lifting the back knee, crescent lunge reach, or keeping the hands onto the hips, lowering back down, coming back, maybe a runner stretch. I want you to keep flowing through this mini flow as you need. Tuning into your balance, flexing and extending your spine, and overall embodying your body and embodying your breath. Let's flow through a couple more sets. Once you've completed the set that you're on, and you're back into the low lunge with your pelvis over your knee, bring your left leg out to the side so the ankle's in line with the knee, and let's flow frontal plane. Reach right arm up and over, and then switch. Press through the outer edge of your left foot. Couple more sets. Complete the one that you're on. Come back to center. Then bring your left leg forward again. Frame your front foot with your blocks. Back knee stays down onto your blanket, or lift the back knee up. And let's move through our rotations. Reach up, left arm, and then switch. Embody your body, embody your breath. Repetition in the movement pattern so that you can think less and feel more. Your pace. Complete the set that you're on. Come back to center and back into a child's pose. Any variation. Breathe 3-dimensionally into your lungs. Front, side, and back equally expands and equally contracts. From your child's pose, make your way into table to find your alignment for downward facing dog, and then exhale up and back. Fold your blanket in half and off to the side. Any movement in down dog that would feel right. Pedaling the knees, bending the knees, rounding the spine, extending the spine. Little articulation flow or gesturing yes and no in your head. Looking forward, walking your feet up. Rise to halfway, micro bend in the knees. Press down through the feet. Rise the rest of the way up through neutral spine to standing mountain pose. Bring your arms by your side. Mountain is anatomically neutral standing position. Notice everything is stacked, aligned. Flowing with the arms a few sets. Deep breath in, reach all the way out and up. And exhale, press down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, press. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale, reach all the way up. And let's fold again to halfway. Bend the knees and drape the torso over your legs. Coming up onto the fingertips, elongate, and then step back into plank. Lower down into a forearm plank, and then come back up onto the hands. Let's do that lower down on the other forearm to start, and then come back up. Lowering the knees, look slightly more forward, and lower all the way down onto the front body. Tense your fingertips, give the shoulders a roll, strong legs. 5 baby cobras. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I think this is 5. And exhale. Palms alongside your low ribs. Press up and back, downward facing dog. An open bend and stretch. Raise the right leg, bend the knee. And then bring it through, pigeon. Extend the left leg directly behind you, lengthen. Any variation. You don't need to stay still here. I like to sort of modify the angle, the shape in my upper body with the lower body pre-positioned in pigeon. It's getting into different fibers of muscles, getting into different muscles. Just exploring. Another full breath. And then plant the palms, come back, downward facing dog. You can come back into the open bend and stretch if you choose. Lowering down, let's do that on the other side. So left leg lifts, open bend and stretch, or straight leg. And then bringing it through, pigeon, extending the right leg directly behind you. Any variation with the upper body. Take a few deep breaths, tune into how the left glute, outer hip, outer leg is feeling in pigeon today. And then you can stay still or a little bit of movement in the upper body in all three planes. And just explore where you need to stay in your pigeon. Or if that little bit of movement in the upper body is what you need in your pigeon today. Another breath. And then come back up onto the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Again, any down dog that you need. Maybe it's the articulation flows, maybe it's bending, straightening the knees, lifting and dropping the heels, or gesturing yes and no. Come through to a seated position. And place your blocks just to the outside of your hips. We're going to go through a little flow from here. I'll offer some modifications. So the first one would be sliding the blocks back a little bit from your hips. Reverse tabletop. And then rocking back onto the heels and coming back. So using the core, you can look towards the back wall, if that's okay for the neck. A little bit more. You can straighten the legs as you come back. Last one. Bring the blocks to the side. Hands behind your knees, Navasana. Good, stay here, recline back into Ardha Navasana. And then come back up, Navasana. One more. Rotate right, derotate, rotate left, derotate, lower all the way down, give yourself a hug. Coming up. Setting up for the most comfortable version of Shavasana you can find. Stillness. Take a deep breath in, hold it at the very top, and And let go of your exhale through the mouth with a sigh, with some sound. Feel yourself sinking into the stillness, sinking into the ground. Relax all the muscles of expression in your face. Fill every square inch of your awareness or of your body with your awareness. And consciously allow yourself to absorb and receive all the benefits of your practice. Just begin to deepen the breath. Feel the space in your lungs. Rest one hand on the low abdomen, one hand on the upper chest. Feel the gentle rise and fall. With your next inhale, reach the arms overhead. Take a morning stretch, whether it be a bit more passive or more energized. Maybe some movement in the joints, wrists, and ankles. Soften that stretch. Bending the knees, rolling onto your right side. And then pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat. Use the blanket or a block underneath you. Rest the hands on your knees. Just take a moment, thank yourself for carving the space out of your day. It's not always easy to step away and carve out some time for yourself. So just acknowledge that. Bringing your arms by your side. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale to center. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.